gentlemen.
Hey guys, what's going on? Nerdy Gentleman here, and doing a live stream, which has been a while since we've done a live stream on here. Let me go ahead and pause this and get this started and click this out and do this, scratch this over here. I do have in the chat with me, I'm going to have to do this manually now. Oh man. I do have here in the chat with me, I have Waha. Go ahead and say hello, Waha.
Hello, Waha.
And I have Panda.
Hey, everybody.
I was trying to go through and like change stuff around, and it was like not having it. So let's see what happens. So this is a speculatory Super Freighter. What do I call it? Drake Interplanetary Super Freighter Speculator Special. And we're gonna live stream while we talk about the potential for a new ship, and that it might not even be a potential. It might be Panda pointed out some really good information earlier about why this is not speculation, that they're going to be announcing a new ship for Drake tomorrow.
Yeah, I almost wish there was a way to share that.
I'm trying to go through and get it pulled up here.
How would we do it? I could try and explain it my best, but in short, they
No, wait.
Oh, waiting, holding.
Yep.
Holding.
So that's going in the background. Let me get this page over here. Let me pop this out over to here, so I can actually see what the hell's going on. Pop out this chat. All right, and then I am on the... I will also stream... I'll share my screen so that you can see what I'm doing. We need to go here. Here. And then click here and here. All right, so you can see my stream, right, Panda?
Yes, correct and correct.
So go ahead and give us a rundown.
The overview. Yeah, the overview. Yes. What I noticed the other day was that they are not being like they're let me restart. They are giving away spoilers in the event menu here. I hadn't read this before the show started, but it hasn't been updated. This is what they released November 16th, the night before the show. So it has been this single page unchanged since then. So they've been rather, as we're about to discuss, they have not been afraid to spoil things. Right here, we all know now that the show started with a brand new ship, the Sulin from Gatak. And right there in the description for that day, this again was posted November 16th. So before the day happened, it says right there, see why the new Sulin, I'm going to say that wrong forever, is set to take the hybrid market by storm. And as if we scroll down and read through each of these, we actually notice there are other spoilers. If we want to go, I think the next one down.
The Aegis Dynamics.
Aegis. Oh, I see. I'm looking at the wrong screen here.
Gotcha.
My bad.
Okay.
Yeah, my bad.
So it's actually,
my bad.
I think, Crusader.
Right, the C1, because Aegis had nothing to release, and there's no spoilers in their title. But Crusader, again, this page was posted November 16th. So Crusader, right here in the description, it talks about the C1. So they were teasing the C1.
Yeah. So catch the launch of the C1.
Yeah.
Or like look at it, basically, right? So we got the Gatak see the new Sulin. Why the new Sulin is set to go. So check it out. Like, look at this as I look at it, and then on Crusader, catch the launch of the C1. So feel the spirit. So like they're telling you like there's a launch, and we know that there was the C1 that got released on the 19th.
On Crusader Day.
19th. Yeah.
Right. So now we're going to go into the future. We can look at Origin. Nothing new for Origin, which is great. Live the Origin lifestyle. But then Drake, right here. What does it say, folks? Take on the universe with Drake's latest.
So it's like an action word.
Yeah.
That they put in there.
Yeah.
With it, like that.
We're getting a new Drake ship.
Down.
Right. This is a deep panda cut for anyone that's been listening. I believe we're getting a consolidated Outland ship this year. It was from some of the leaked info / some of the teased info, the color schemes and some of the design language of some of the ships we saw. I think I pointed out were identical to the Nomad. And then also consolidated Outlands here. Bear witness to the audacious designs. It does not say new.
Yeah.
Bear witness to audacious designs. But again, those are very action words. Like, look at this new thing. Look at this thing.
And then if we go to...
I think RSI. Yep. RSI continues to innovate with a new deep space miner. So they're just flat out saying it right there. And we're all pretty sure that's going to be the Arastra.
Yep.
So there's been a lot of spoilers in here. And that was kind of neat to see.
Yeah. And when you pointed that out, I was like, that actually sounds... What's going on, Jose? That actually sounds right. Like, to me, that makes sense. Like, with how you laid it out like that, I'm like, I can see that now, and it's speculation at this point in time, right? But
pure speculatorily,
not a word. Take on the universe with Drake's latest. With their latest, they haven't had a new Drake ship that's actually been a flyable new Drake ship since the Cutter. And we know they're going to be releasing the new Cutter, the Expedition. Is it the Expedition? I believe it's the Expedition.
Yeah, the Expedition variant.
There's been a lot of speculation for the Super Freighter, right? All right. Hey, Jeff. Jeff's saying the same thing. I've only heard rumors of the Super Freighter once in an obscure YouTube video, and if it's true, I'm totally stoked. I thought that as well. I only remembered hearing about it once. And then another guy that I watch went through and put up a video and was talking about it as like, it's rumors here and out there. And then like 4 days ago, fucking Bored Gamer was like, yep, and there is speculation and rumors of a Drake Super Freighter. And I'm like, okay, Bored has a lot of contacts, like a lot of contacts within there. And I'm not saying that he would go through and give that information out and be like, but for him to go through and confirm that, yes, there is still a lot of rumors going along and a lot of mutterings of a Drake Super Freighter being announced this year. I was like, take my money, bro, take my money. I am a Drake fanboy. There's a reason why the first song that I created for Stardust System was with the artist, the fictional artist named Drake Nelson, who was born in the hull of a caterpillar. It's because it's one of my favorite ships. So that's I don't know, seeing that laid out like that, because we know Gattac put out a new ship, and it says, see the new ship, right? Crusader Industries launched the C1. Catch the launch of, like, be here for it, right? You know, the Drake Super Freighter speculation is it from Star Citizen Leaks? See, I heard it initially. I heard it from Siver. Oh shit, what's that guy's name?
Our image, the image that we're using as the thumbnail right now, was shown on the Inforunner show last week. They definitely did not give it much time, and it was sort of cast aside, which I think we're going to talk about here in a second, why we think they may have done that. But it was brought up. So multiple heavy hitter channels talked about.
Yeah, a lot of the big guys. And I want to say that on that one, was Astropub on that one? Were they talking about?
I believe it was Astropub and Algrid. I believe so.
Okay. No, so was it Execute Astropub and Algrid, or was it just Execute and Algrid?
No, Execute, Algrid, and Astropub.
Oh, okay. The post came from, so the reason that image, we went through and kind of upscaled it and everything like that, but that image right there came from a Reddit post that's about 8 months old, I believe. And I'm trying to see if I can find the Reddit post.
Right.
Drake. I would die for Drake. So this came out. Okay, well, this is a 1 week ago. There was an earlier one because that's where I initially found the post, but then like 1 week ago, there's another one that came through here. So this one is 1 week ago, but I want to say there was one that I was looking at that was from like March. But we'll look at this one right here. So this is where this kind of post came from, and we looked at this, and like this is it looks kit bashed together, right? It looks like this is a Drake Caterpillar because we can see the module, we can see the pilot section right here. And it looks like they went through and added like a bunch of shit, stacking it on the sides. But it basically looks like they cut off one side over here. And then the other side of it too is like these two images, like they're put on here like as if they were to go together. But this is not the tail end. This is not the ass end of this ship. Like this is a different ship altogether because the engine layout and everything like that is totally different. There's not 2 layers of it back here. So, I mean, to me, it looks like it's just speculation on that side or like kit bashing on that side to go through. But this is coming from Pipeline Leaks, super early concepts of Drake Freighter. Give please. I am more looking for the spot of them going through and saying, hey, here is the white box that we have. This is what we have going on for it. It's still going to be a ways away. But the reason why I'm most excited about this type of ship right here is because we are looking at it for a spot of the biggest. So right now, the whole series is your
cargo
leaders right now and cargo.
Full cargo.
Right? Yeah, what is it? 4,000 something.
4,680, I believe. 4,600 and something.
Yeah, or 4,680, 4,680, I think it is. Or maybe I'm thinking like 5,280 because mile high. But anyways, so right now, I mean, for the longest time, Caterpillar was the biggest, and then the Hercules, C2 is what
the C2 Starlifter.
Yeah, it was
600
for the Caterpillar, 576 for the Caterpillar, and 6 something for the Starlifter.
6 something for the Starlifter. Yep.
And then the whole series came along, like literally, just what, last patch? Was it 3.2 or 3.19? The whole C actually came out.
I can't remember. 3.21.
Okay. No, so
3.210. Yeah. No, 3.21.0.
Okay, got you, because we just got 3.21.1, but still, like this patch cycle, I thought it was 3.19 that the patch came out. I see with that 280. Calm down, Jose. Like Jeff said, absolute Drake fanboy. It will absolutely be an instant wallet opener for me. That's what I literally put in the chat. Like a week ago, whatever, when I first saw this thing, or 4 or 5 days ago when we were first talking about it, and I was posting these pictures in the Discord chat, and I was like, take my wallet. Somebody find my wallet, because it's literally that level. Because the last big Drake ship that I will say, like we've gotten the Corsair and we've gotten the Cutter Scout most recently. The Corsair, the Drake Cutter was the last one to come out before because it was Corsair, then Cutter, and then the new Cutter Scout. That's the last 3 Drake ships that we've gotten, correct?
I believe so, yes.
So the last Drake cargo ship that's mainly a cargo ship, or the only Drake cargo ship that we actually freaking have, is the Caterpillar. And I love the names that people have dubbed this. The official name is the Fatterpillar. It's the Fatterpillar. I think that is the best names. The best.
I'm sure that the ship will not look like that. I'm positive that image is a fake it.
True, but I actually the things that I really like about this image, and I get it, that this is probably a super early concept of the Drake, but if you think of these as 32 SCU cargo boxes that you can literally go through and just snap to it, it actually makes a ton of sense. I would still like to have an internal cargo support system with a walkway, but love this idea of being able to snap in.
Right, it may have split cargo. It may have external and internal. And there is a lot of Drake design language in that build. It is very... Someone else who loves Drake probably made that. So I'm sure it won't be too far off if we get some sort
Well-
of super elongated carrier.
And this thing right here says says from pipeline leaks, and pipeline
Well,
leaks goes there and puts a lot of stuff out.
It's easy
So I'm
to
like,
it's easy to type from pipeline link.
you're right. You're not wrong. What's up, Ken? Oh, Joe pointed out could be 2 concept designs thrown into to the same photo. That is true.
Yes, which is true. Which is true. Another thing too that a lot of people tend to forget is that the Caterpillar is modular in more than just the bays that it comes. The captain's pod is supposed to be able to detach and land, saving you fuel and time.
Yeah.
So there's no reason we couldn't see if this is something similar where instead of getting a lot of the other large ships are getting bays, right, for snub ships or small ships. Maybe Drake doesn't do that because the captain's pod also detaches, and that is your small ship that you take around. I love that. By the way, I don't like Drake a lot. I am not as much of a Drake fanboy as Drake. But the fact that the Caterpillar's captain's quarters, captain's section, is supposed to detach, I love that. That is brilliant.
The Drake lobster. Yes.
It's like the lobster claw, the big side bit there.
So for the thumbnail for this, we actually went through and upscaled, like did an AI upscale. Waha suggested going through an AI upscale for the image to be able to go through and pull it out. And I went through and also kind of did some coloring so you can kind of see the different parts of the ships, right? So these are the potentially the 32 SCU cargo slots. And I love the idea of them going through, because I always think of like a docking port. You know, we have here in Denver, or greater Denver area, we actually have the Amazon shipping warehouse. And so you see like one side of their thing is literally just a shit ton of docks for semi trucks to go through and back their trailers up to for unloading and loading of their cargo. And in my head, it's like that's the same thing right here. It's just like it's just without the tractors. You know, it's just the trailers, and just like all plugged into the ship. But this design of it. And I can see them going through and releasing this one without modularity, like without going through and being able to, you know, change out modules inside there. But that's not fully legit. And if this is a very early rendition of some sort of, you know, design aspect for the Fatterpillar or the Super Freighter, then, you know, things might have changed. They might have gone back and done more with the modularity in there and decided to go through and change some things up. It looks like with this one, it's still kind of keeping the design language that they've done for the Caterpillar, with keeping it to where you have the cargo pod up here, engine bays in the back. The one thing that I would like to see is that if you were looking at this as a comparator or a competitor to the Hull C, then it would need to go through and have something to close to the 4,000 SCU of cargo to be able to get set on there. I don't see that happening in a ship that's coming out by Drake. I see them getting close. I see this being something to where
I even think half
2,000 to 3,000 range.
If they can hit 2,000, I think they're golden.
Yeah, if they go through and hit 2068, right? We'll go through in increments of, you know, binary and stuff like that, right? Or 2086, 1024, 2048. So if they hit 2048. Well, if you were looking at it 32 SCUs, fuck it, never mind. If they hit 2048, I would go through and say that would be a good set for it. Because what could be the difference is you might have the ability to go through and have, goodness, right here. If this area is as flat as it is in this picture, which it probably isn't, but if you were able to go through and say, sweet, let's actually be able to have 2 landing pads for some escort fighters on here, and, you know, turret system on there, then it would make it to where it's there. You have a big flat open area. If this can be as wide as it can be, you can go through and have it to where it can easily go through and have 2 landing pads for just the extra smalls, arrows, your
Snub ship. The snub
ships. Well, and I actually would like to see it to go to small, because then you can go through and have things like Vulcans. You can have some like the light to medium, you know, kind of fighters.
Yeah. Bear in mind that we do not have a ship in game yet that can store a small ship.
That's true, because I think the Polaris is the first one that will be able
The
to
Polaris should be the first one that we get. And I guess it kind of depends on when Squadron comes out, because we're getting the Idris the day Squadron comes out. So if Squadron comes out before the Polaris comes out, then it'll be the Idris. But currently, all the bays are snub ship size, and that's it.
Wait, so Wildly Coyote, give me a sec. I'm catching up on there. So the Cat's cargo bays are modular. Well, yes, currently Platinum Sniper. Yeah, so currently the Caterpillar should have modularity in its bays, to where you could be able to go through and split it out for what I think I've done a medical bay, more sleeping quarters or whatever. So for like drop ship, because they were going to use that as a drop ship as well. So it was going to have kind of like the Cutlass Steel, how they have their
right. We'll get a
drop ship ability. They were looking at having that. And honestly, the Caterpillar, as it stands right now, if they had the modularity to go through and change those out for things like a drop ship kind of functionality, or for vehicle hauling, like being able to go through and take out some of the walkways or move them around to where they're at and have it to where it's a actual true vehicle hauler, or even if they went through and changed up the ship and reworked it to where it could actually fit a 32 SCU cargo, or expanded out like a freaking like an RV, like one of the expandable RVs, to where it's like able to.
Oh yeah, the Adafoots or whatever. Where they
like that would be amazing. But yeah, so we do know that the Caterpillar right now should be modular. That was actually the reason why I initially backed the Caterpillar way back.
We're just doubting whether this would be modular. That would be a whole nother undertaking. But if you even look at the captain's bay on this, which I'm guessing is the thing kind of to the left of the ship from what we're seeing towards the rear, that looks like a little shuttle pod. Look, it's even got little engine boosters on it. And if Drake continues that theme, I may change my heart a little bit. Just a little bit, though. Don't.
Just a little bit.
Crusader
I know you're not the biggest Drake. I know you're not the biggest Drake fanboy. I am. I'm a great big Drake fanboy. But if you look at, let's see, Jeff Roller, you said, I fell in love with the Corsair so hard. It's what bought me fully into the game a year ago. My girlfriend literally made me a Drake Corsair.
That's awesome.
That's badass. Awesome. So props up for the good girlfriend there. Wildly Coyote, I always thought that having the captain's pod on different ships would be awesome.
Yeah,
I agree.
We need more
and
of
also,
those.
if they kept, which don't get me wrong, I wish there was a little bit more functionality in the captain's pod that's on there. But what if it was something to where the captain's pod that you get off the Caterpillar can go and directly connect to the Fatterpillar, and there was that interchangeability for modularity? I don't think that they're going to do that, because people would literally be, pirate organizations would be like, just bring the captain's pod, and you're like going out there waiting for a Fatterpillar or a Caterpillar to show up.
It's definitely not a bad idea, though. I don't hate it. I don't hate it at all.
That'd be pretty cool. And then I always thought that for different ships would be awesome, like a medium salvage ship using the same captain's pod for the Caterpillar.
Hey, that's what we just said. Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, if we could move that captain's pod around, that'd be sick. That'd be sick.
I like how Ken likes the Fatterpillar for the win. There's also a Cutlass landing bay for the Cat.
Really?
I did see somebody come up with an idea for the modules, and this, give me a sec. Caterpillar, what am I looking for? It was somebody that went through and it was like in the images. And somebody kind of like was just kind of drawing stuff out. Let's go down this rabbit hole. It's going to be fun. This one right here. Open image, a new tab. I thought this was a really awesome freaking idea to go through and like have that stuff set up. This is a carrier module for Drake Caterpillar. Can't help but dream what the carrier module would look like.
Oh my goodness!
And I was like, that's a freaking amazing idea.
That is awesome.
Let's see. Please don't make me regret building a CCU chain for the Liberator. Facts, it can only take extra small and 2 times 2 an extra small ship on its flight deck. Yeah, Panda actually is really excited for the Liberator too, and he's looking at going through that route as well.
Yeah, I might be getting a Liberator. It's all queued up right now, unless something else.
Wildly Coyote said the 890 jump has a small hanger. The Crackapillar.
The enemy jump has a small hanger. Okay. Well, we're in an 890 right now. We could certainly try it, but I thought it still had the same height problem the character.
Possibly. Let's see. No, this idea right here, though, with the Caterpillar with landing pads up onto there, like a carrier module,
That's
is
awesome.
is really freaking cool. And as it's basically you would be if you could get it set up right, it would be an external attachment, so you could still maintain cargo underneath it, because this you would basically lose your top turret, your top forward turret, if you looked at it like this.
Yeah, the top forward turret is gone.
Let's see. Look up, what is it?
Drake Caterpillar Cutlass module. Right, the Polaris Future hangar, we've at least now seen a Scorpius coming out of, and the Scorpius is not exactly a small ship. It is classed as a small ship, but I mean in its physical sizing, it's rather large. So as long as you can be smaller than a Scorpius.
Is this the kind of picture you were looking at, Platinum Sniper? One of the first ones. So, see a Cutlass in this picture. Oh. Very first image. Okay.
Because how does a Cuddy fit into it, right? The twin cat. Love that.
Oh. Once docked, the Cutlass becomes assist thrusters for the Caterpillar. Do you see this? How it kind of like would dock and like secure
No
in?
way. Okay. Okay.
That is I mean, I get it. Is this broadside module? Gotcha.
Yeah, the broadside module. I have heard rumors of that, and no reason they wouldn't have that. That would be a very smart idea.
I do like how this is like space engineers stuff subreddit.
Yeah, it does look like. Oh, it is literally the space engineer subreddit. I was like, it does look like something.
So okay, no, I can see that. I can see that. That's a pretty interesting. I do like this one right here. We all know the control module can be detached. What if we can attach two caterpillars and one control module? That would be quite interesting to go through and have it this way.
The twin cat.
I still think that this one right here, the carrier module, would be a great
Yeah, just like a
Transformers
flat.
noises. And so I quote unquote so easy to implement. Like as there would be no breaking of the parts interiors. Like you'd be able to go through and you'd basically just be attaching it to the top of the Caterpillar along its module, the skeleton, I guess, for the module. That's, to me, this is just, it's just sexiness right there, where it's just like, oh yeah, no, you can go through and fit, and it looks like that would fit. Looks like an extra small, and this is probably a small landing size pad. Does it? I wonder if they actually do say it. Let's see. Was this a Reddit post as well? Yeah. Could be cool sacrificing all the cargo for a pad, not two though. It would be quite OP, but one pad and exterior for a little fighter, why not? See how you're looking at this. I was thinking more of these would sit on top of the cargo area like the Kraken. Exactly, yeah, that's how I was thinking too. It should come at a small reduction in cargo space, but not all of it. I do really hope they have a carrier module though. Bro, a carrier module needs to happen. CIG, that needs to happen. I would be yeah, no. I would be super excited if they actually started going through and introducing modules to to the caterpillar, and actually getting him in place. And this is just too cool of a module right here. Look at that. That would be an amazing design for it. And I agree with the the original poster for this, because he was saying like, yeah, no, this wouldn't take up all your modules. You wouldn't lose everything, because on the cat right now, basically you have your command pod, and then this right here is your living space up to this point, and you would starts your module. So if this took over that whole place for it, that would be what, probably 60, I'm going to say probably 55 meters, because that about splits it in half, 55 to 60 meters long, because the Drake Caterpillar is 110 meters long.
Mm-hmm.
And oh, what's the beam on it? Is it 35 beam, I think? So you would say this is probably 20 meters wide and 60 meters long, or 55 meters long is what this would look out to be. And that's plenty wide. And you could also, like, if you were able to go through and land a shuttle in cattywampus or like sideways or something like that, like you'd still be able to go and get it taken care of. Like, I don't know. I think that's just this is out of all the like the fan made modules that people have made, because I know that some guy a while back did like some 3D renderings of like different modules and everything to go and get things taken care of, which was cool. This was not one of them, and I'm like, this is probably the best. And this was 3 years ago. This guy came up with this module. Somebody from CIG had to have seen this and said, "That's actually a good idea." I don't know if that's actually how they talk.
But... I don't know how developers speak either.
Right. So there's just a shuttle pod for it. Another go with the Drake Caterpillar from Star Citizen. Oh, Starfield ships. Wow, that's actually a pretty good Starfield version of the Drake Caterpillar. See, I don't know. What do you guys think? Like, what do you guys think of what do you guys think are the chances that they will go through and actually start back up with the modularity for the older ships like the Caterpillar?
100%. I'm sorry I jumped in front of you there, but Garen fucking Teat. We're already getting the Retaliator. They've now added to the galaxy by showing us base building, and the Carrack is probably well on its way as well. 100% guaranteed. Now that they are talking about modularity, it exists. It is real. It is on its way. If I remember correctly, I heard that the Retaliator is getting it first. So the day I get my Retaliator, the day after you can talk about your cat. You know what I mean? And we can start, like, it should be literally right there. So.
I'm reading up on the chat.
No, you're
Ken was saying.
I got excited
earlier. Liberator can ferry.
We didn't get Waha's opinion on modularity.
We did not. Is Waha here?
Well, he's flying the ship I'm in, so...
I am here. I'm just
okay. So you hope he's not...
I hope he's here.
He just AFK'd as you're going down towards the planet.
Waiting.
Let's see. Ayosha said, "It is, but the kicker is it's required for the galaxy and base building. The modularity, gotcha. The modularity part is required for the galaxy and base building."
I am looking forward to modularity. I don't know much personally about it, because you two are more into all the lore and have been following it much more closely than I have.
I do like this idea right here too of the Caterpillar as a pocket carrier for a new Monarch Cutlass alternative. Like, this is, just a rendering, somebody did of it with this on the side. I don't know if I can get this image to. No zoomies. I do kind of like this rendering, this modification of the.
I'm so sorry, Ken. I'm so sorry.
The Cutlass.
The Tally is getting modularity first, and it was leaked at CitizenCon that we're getting it this year. So we are getting it this year, and it's getting its modularity, which actually upsets me because, again, personally, Panda Cut, I think they've had it done for about 3 months now. That was the last big leak, and it wasn't even like a leak. They just straight up showed on Star Citizen Live one day that the art was done for the interior modules. They showed off 3. They showed off a living module, a medical module, and something else. But in the screen, there was 5. but they didn't show off all 5. So I think that they've had these modules done, and they've had, even if they haven't had the modules done, they've definitely had the Retaliator rework done, and I'm a bit upset that they haven't given it to us. As a longtime Retaliator owner, the ship's basically useless. Not that it doesn't hit hard, but without a crew, you have no forward-facing guns. If you do have a crew, you can get some guns, but they're in weird places. You can drop the size 9 torpedoes, but the ship also has holes everywhere. It's one of the last ships that you still just can't walk around safely. You will just fall through it. Like, you'll just fall through it at random time. So the ship, if they have the rework and they've been holding on to it for 3 months, I'm a bit upset.
We're just waiting for the perfect opportunity. Well, but you got to think as well, like they were trying to get CitizenCon set up. They were trying to go through and get everything set up for IAE 2953. Like there was a lot of stuff that they were doing at this point in time that they were like, cool, can we release it? And Chris was probably like, well, I don't know if how does Chris sound something like that?
They're going to give it to us with the modules. Like, that's the thing. They're going to have one big day where it's Retaliator. They're not going to give us half Retaliator rework and then a couple months down the line, you know. That's why they're waiting. I just don't like. I want my tally fixed now.
Give it to me now.
Right. But we know, Wile E. Coyote, we know that coding has been working since the Hull C, because it's the same code. The code that makes the modules disconnect is the same code that makes the Hull C work. And so, so maybe as a little bit, I know we're supposed to be talking about Drake ships, but to answer Ken's next question, in the photo they showed at CitizenCon, the tally looks as if it's missing its top turret. So I'd be really happy if in the rework they redid not only the turret positions, but maybe gave the pilot 2 size 3 guns. That would be fantastic. But in the image from SitCon, in the silhouette imagery where we see the Retaliator, it certainly looks as if that top bubble turret isn't there. And it's a rather prominent turret. When you look at the silhouette of the ship now, it sticks out quite a bit. So to not see it in that silhouette, I'm hoping is a telling.
With the Drake, to recap everything that we kind of touched base for on this part, right? So we've talked about the Drake Caterpillar and its current state that it's in right now, which I was actually pretty surprised that the Drake Caterpillar a couple weeks ago, or probably 3 or 4 weeks ago, got removed from the, and it could have been longer ago than that, actually got removed from the store. Because for the longest time you would always be able to go through and buy the Drake Caterpillar. It had the buying options for it, and it got taken down from the store, so you can't pledge for it right now. And tomorrow's Drake Day, so I'm sure it will be put back up on there. But I'm wondering what they're doing with it, and as a reason why they're it's not on the store, or hasn't been on the store for the past few weeks at the least, that I've been able to go through and notice it. And then we were talking about different models. Yeah, only added one of the giant packs. I can hear.
Did you see where on the store? Is a no. which it is. Charge free. If you want. A lot.
Oh. Yeah. Not gonna be able to do. So, better. Is it running smoother now? Am I getting a good bandwidth? My apologies. I figured I would try. I know that if I was running off my
shot.
streaming PC, that'd be a separate one.
Am I allowed to shoot them?
No. Leave.
I don't have, yeah, I'm
Just
trying.
jump.
Does anyone think they've noticed
Maybe I
us
missed
in
it.
charge trying to
Yes,
get
your
their
sound
attention?
is back to normal.
Yeah. So my apologies. I
can.
was trying to go through and see if I can get out of the station. Usually whenever I stream the game, I go through and have it running on my separate streaming PC. Like that's actually doing the processing for the streaming. But don't have it set up right now.
My quantum's jammed, by the way, Panda.
Oh no, they're in a mantis.
Oh, are you getting like hit by
Yeah.
players?
Yeah, we're fucked. No. Just a cop, just an NPC cop. Okay, point us to
gotcha.
open space and full speed. Point us to open space towards yellow and blast, brother.
I am blasting.
Toaster,
Quicker
I
than-
appreciate you, bud, on the
Gosh,
next
this
to the
thing is
photo
slow.
thing.
Okay.
Yeah,
What are y'all in?
it's speeding up at 890.
Y'all in 890.
388 cargo
It's
space.
$1,000 ship, dude. Why would you not be in it?
I mean, yeah, you're
Here we
not
go.
wrong.
The problem is we got caught by a mantis.
And the quantum decided to. No, you gotta redo that. Okay. That's great.
So-
I don't want to go.
To go over what Panda was talking about earlier, so kind of go over everything that we're looking at on here. We did go through, Panda pointed out earlier and saw that all the ships, all the manufacturers that have come out up to this point that have had a ship release with it has gone through and had some sort of wording that was based around like seeing it, or like the wording kind of faced it to where it looked like it was actually sitting out there.
Yes, Toaster. We believe we are getting a special little surprise tomorrow. The Drake.
Right. And so that,
Drop.
like as pointed out earlier, right? So Gattac came out with the alien ship, the Sulin, and it says, "See why the new Sulin is set to take the hypermarket on Storm." Right. We didn't get anything from Aegis. The Crusader Industries catch the launch of the C1, feel the spirit of the Crusader. Like so, it's one of those things of like saying like an action to be there or something like that. Find out how the Tumbril Storm mini tank helps dominate battlefields. Origin jump works. They didn't have anything right. That live the Origin lifestyle, if even for a day, right? So it's kind of thing. Drake Planetary, take on the universe with Drake's latest, right? So with Drake's latest, take on the universe with Drake's latest. It's like a call to action for that. So we're thinking that there is going to be a Drake release ship tomorrow, or at least a what is it, a pre-sale or whatever. Is that what they call it, Panda?
Yeah, concept sale. Yeah,
concept sale. There you go. Be the first to give the new SRV a spin, right? So the SRV will be out there for everybody to go through and rent, which I think a lot of people are going to really rent that ship. I did mess around with it in the PTU and rented it from there, and it's a really cool ship. Consolidate Outland. Bear witness to the audacious design choices of Silas Corner. Panda has convinced me. I believe that the new small miner, maybe not the small miner, but I believe since Panda convinced me, Panda was the big proponent behind this, said that Consolidated Outlands is actually going to be a new ship. People that make the Nomad is actually going to have a new ship, and that's going to be out there. And a lot of people are saying that there's going to be a direct-to-flyable small miner, and a lot of people are speculating that that's going to be an RSI small miner, but Panda pointed out, Consolidated Outland is the one that's going to go through that. That's going to be a new ship on that date. So yeah, Toaster. Tomorrow
I think we're getting the mid miner with. I think we're getting the medium, another miner with Consolidated Outland.
Well, Ken, I do believe that yes, they are also going to have they've had the third variant of the cutter in game. Like there was actually screenshots of it in game, probably like 4 or 5 weeks ago. So we know that one's already finished and done. That one's going to be coming out tomorrow. But I believe they're going to be going through and talking about the Drake Super Freighter or the Fatterpillar. This guy right here. This big bad boy right here. Maybe not that one exactly. But a Super Freighter that's in competition. That's a competitor to the Hull C. And we know that we're supposed to be getting, 3 or 4 more ships before the end of the year? 5 more ships before the end of the year? Like flyable. Before the end of the year. Right now, the only ones we've gotten is we got the C1, so that is one of them. We got the Sulin, that's 2. We're going to have the third cutter, that's 3. We know that the X1 is supposed to be coming out before the end of it somewhere.
The X1 will be out, right at the December patch.
It's the 3.22, right?
3.22, yes.
And then we know that they're going to be, okay, we speculate, we don't know because we don't know, but this one right here goes through on November 25th, 26th, Robert Space Industries, RSI continues to innovate with a new deep space miner. And that's what we're going through and saying is the Arastra is what they're going to be going through and releasing. It's not going to be a direct-to-flyable. If it is direct-to-flyable, I will lose my shit because that'll be great. But it's not going to be a direct-to-flyable because if it is what everybody's going off of, like we talked about in the Arastra video, and in the Galaxy versus Arastra video, right? They don't have refining in-game yet. If they released the Arastra and it had refining in there, I would actually be furious because I want the Expanse, the solo refining ship that's just made for refining. Like, I would still go through and be pretty happy because there's a Drake.
Yeah, it's a new Drake ship.
One that I actually want.
Or a new, yeah.
But a new mining ship, a new Robert Space Industry ship. Because right now, the only RSI ship that we have that's actually a ship that you can fly right now in game is the Connie series. And it's one of the oldest large ships in the game. Was that the first large ship in the game?
Certainly it was. Yes, of course. Yes.
So talk of it being...
Yeah, I think it's going to be a concept sale. There's no way the Arastra is direct-to-flyable. It's just, It's not going to happen. We certainly will get the Expanse first when Refinery comes to the game.
Yeah, because that'll be Refinery 1.0. Like,
Yeah.
and that's how they've done it, right? The Vulture.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, they've had the Reclaimer out for a while. You just couldn't do anything fucking with it. But the Vulture was like whenever they put the
Right.
Vulture out.
No, the Prospector launched mining. The Vulture launched salvage. The Expanse will launch refiner. So I'm sure it'll be a concept. The Arastra will be a concept sale. Positive.
Yeah, because they'll want to make sure that it gets all the bugs out. And then maybe like a patch or two later, they might come through and release the Arastra. But they want to go through and get that initial, hey, we've
$425. I'm bringing my price way down, I think.
Wait, for the Arastra?
Yeah.
I'm still saying 500 to 525. If it comes across as the same scale as the Galaxy, which is a hard one to go off of, but the Galaxy is only 380, but that's without any of the modules. I don't know. It's hard. Let's see. What do we got over here? Gib Perseus.
Yeah, Percy. Ken, yes, enclosed transports will probably get you farther than open transports, especially when we get to planets that you can't breathe on. I don't love the G12. I honestly think the Ursa rover is just the best. Just get the Ursa rover. It's the best. It's got a turret. It's got cargo. It's got places for your friends. It's tough. If you have a transport and you want it to be enclosed, the answer is the Ursa rover. Is it kind of lame? Yeah, but it's the best.
Jeff, I like your point on there. You've been beating yourself up between the Orion and the Arastra. And I get that, because that's one thing we actually talked about. Give me one second. I need to let my cat out of the room.
Oh no, the cat. Here, I'm going to speculate forward. Dream's going to come in and talk about crew requirements first. Crew requirements for the Orion. I mean, you're going to need 12 dudes. 12 friends that know what they're doing to run that. The Arastra,
is, like,
3?
We don't have that
maybe?
as, like, most of the times, if you look at it in that sense, right? So we have, I think there's only like 5 people in DSMT, right? The Dark Space Mining and Trading. We're not a big organization, and most organizations aren't big. Most organizations, like 90% of the organizations, have between 5 and 10 people in them, right? If you look at something like the Orion and it goes through and says, hey, yeah, you're going to need an ass ton of people. Let's actually pull up that. Nope, let's go to Fleet Yards and look at the Orion. I do love Fleet Yards. It's a great site. So the Orion, the price is going to go up. It actually, some people did say it's going to go up, or already has gone up. But 340 meter length, which means this thing's a beast to go through and get around. 100 meters tall, 100 meters wide, right? It's a big square or a big plus sign on the back. Capital size ship. Minimum crew 4 persons, max crew 7 persons. That's going to be going through and saying that max crew, that's people not operating the turrets as well, right? Because if you think on here, you have 2 mining head operators, 1 person that's going to be going through and operating the, which this might be a part of the captain's, like the pilot's seat, because this little main center laser, which looks like it's probably going to be able to crush. But you have 4 mining heads on here, 4 big mining lasers. One of them's off. Actually, is there a 3D model of this? There is, you beautiful, beautiful beast. All right, so let's disable auto rotate. So this model is based off of right here. Can I zoom in on the page? I can, but that gets everything in the way. All right, so this is the Orion, right? So you have this munch system right here, which is the asteroid grinder eater. So this is going to be something to where the pilot's going to be able to go through and pull that in. Or control, like basically it's like, it's going to be either that the pilot's going to be sitting there and you're going to have, along with these turrets up here, the mining laser heads, they're going to go through and start introducing to where they're going to have tractor beams on them as well. And you're going to be able to go through and bring those into this, grinding central spot. But even still, that's 1 mining head, 2 mining head, 3 mining head, 4 mining head. Even if they made that to where these were not mining heads, but just automated tractor beams, which it could be, you're still looking at going through and having the tractor beams right here. Your person's going to be operating this, 2 mining operators, and then you have a turret right here, a turret down here, which these could be remote, but still. Wait, are you only going to have 2 turret operators on this motherfucker? These look like they're forward-facing guns. I don't see that as a turret. That looks like a forward-facing gun. That is it forward facing gun only on one side? Holy crap. Turn off the 3D view. Let's see what then the G12 will do kin. Let's see. My reclaimer is named held the line. Nice. Oh man, I've missed so much chat. I'm sorry, I was looking at this over here. Should I CC my STV to G12? Okay, I see where that chain is going. We were talking, that's where, okay, Jeff, I was talking about with him about the Orion and the Arastra, pinning the actual information, though I realized that I don't actually want to be piloting the Pillar of Autumn through the asteroid field. Good point. This is a giant ship, and I'm wondering how much it's going to change, because we've had this concept image forever.
Panda helmet.
And it's quiet.
I think I'm alive. I think I made it without dying. I have a helmet on.
This Orion mining platform concept image for
ever, as long as I remember. Yeah, no, earlier, literally as long as I've been backing.
2014.
I think that image has been up.
So I'm wondering, because and this is an RSI ship, right? If we go and compare it to the other RSI ships that are out there, like with the Arastra or with the Galaxy, right? We can go through and pull the Galaxy up on here. Right? This and the Galaxy and the Perseus, and let's do a compare ships. Galaxy, Perseus, Polaris. What do these ships have in common that the Orion doesn't? It literally looks like the Orion, and I think I mentioned this in, maybe it was just me and Panda playing and talking, but the Orion as a mining ship honestly looks more like a Drake manufacturer of just like bare bones, everything's kind of exposed, compared to all of the other RSI ships that are set to come out. I mean, you have the Polaris, the Perseus, the Galaxy. What's the other one that's coming through the Paris? Oh, they're not going to have the Arastra on here. No,
I think it's just those three: the Perseus, the Polaris, and the Galaxy.
And then the Arastra, which follows in this same similar line. But they all have this kind of same profile form. And then you go back to the Orion, and you're like, oh, that's nothing like anything else. Let's see. The crew requirement is exactly why I've settled on the Perseus over the Polaris. The Perseus is 6 persons, min and max, and the Polaris is 6 to 14. That's one of the reasons why I didn't like the Polaris as well. I do like the Galaxy because it's actually bigger. The Galaxy is actually bigger than the Perseus, but the Perseus has a minimum crew and a maximum crew of 6. The Galaxy is 1 and 6 for minimum and maximum, and it's actually bigger. Now, granted, the Perseus is a frigate, like it is a ship made for combat. And the Galaxy is modular, so it does have some defense on there, but it's probably not going to have as much armor, and we don't have any of these stats because nothing's on there. But both of them looks like they have the computers. Let's go to shields, systems, coolers, shield generators. One size large, and the Perseus has 2 size large shields, so it's going to have more shielding. We're not going to have anything for armor. Weaponry, 2 size 7s, dear lord. The Perseus has 2 size 7 turrets times 2.
Yeah.
Holy
size 7 is going to be the new big bangers.
So EM Sickness said the Orion is a full industrial ship, though Galaxy is a multi-role ship, and the other 2 are military. Yeah, but I guess my point that I was making with that is that, like, right now, even if you go through and look at the Connie series, right, you could see that there's an evolution between the Connie series and these ships, like going to the Perseus and stuff like that, they go into the Polaris, you can see an evolution in the design structure and the design Bible for it. And they might have to eventually go back and redesign, like retrofit, redesign the Connie series as whenever it's coming to ship design stuff, right? But if we're looking at it at that evolution and going through and saying like, okay, here's the Connies, here's the everything else that RSI has made, the Arastra, the Galaxy, the Perseus, the Polaris, and they all have the similar language. And then you go back and look at the Polaris. Let's see if I can get this back up over here. And no, I was actually through the fleet yards. No. What am I looking for? Orion. Sorry. And you go back and you look at this bad boy right here, and you're like, that looks nothing like any of the other ships. Like anything for its set. I would put this further into MISC than I would to RSI, based off of the design library that we have right now, or the design Bible that we have right now for future RSI ships. And granted, like I said, there's no other RSI ships that are even out there for us to do a comparison to, because right now the only ship that's flyable in game is the Connie series, and they look nothing like this. Maybe, but I don't know. So that's my point on there. I know the whole thing is about this is for the Caterpillar, but we kind of started spreading out when people started asking questions about different ships. So those size 7s are ballistic cannons, and you cannot swap them. You can't. They're set on there. They're welded on. You can't swap them out. Wait, is the audio messing up?
No, the audio is back to good.
Oh, okay. Sorry. See. And they got 3 slaved turrets. I missed on what we were talking about that one. If we were talking about that one with the Perseus. I think he was talking about the Perseus earlier. One of the rare few that plays via Linux and a server. Oh, is that still from messing up earlier? Or has the stream been messing up again? Or is it just, was that from earlier when I was trying to play?
No, that was from all earlier.
Okay.
It looks like Ayusha was just coming back after leaving after bad audio. And so I was catching them up that the audio is less bad.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. So Ranger said, Connie is my favorite. I actually have really started to like the Connie as of recent. It never really caught my attention. I have the Connie in my, as a loaner ship for something, the Expanse or the Crucible maybe. So I'm not sure where I got it from, but I have it. I have the Andromeda in my, as my loaner matrix, and I'm like, sweet, that's awesome. Like, let's try it out. And we started doing it with a lot of the salvage missions that we were running for the illicit salvage.
Yeah, it's just really easy to load and unload cargo wise. So we grabbed one to try it out.
Oh, I actually have to spell it out. Constellation.
Yeah, I've never loved the Connies, but they're a pretty cool ship. They are a pretty cool ship.
With how it, like, with seeing it in action like that, like, I do like the open, like, the cockpit, the visibility and everything for it.
The bars,
the Andromeda is I don't like the bars in the front. I wish they would go through and figure out another way to round. In the future, they can't round the damn things. But I do like it that it's, tons of weaponry and missiles on there. But the biggest thing was that the drop down cargo module at the bottom was really great. Like, really great for going through and like, basically we'd go out and run. I'd be piloting. I'd get us set up. Huaha and Panda would jump across to the ship that we were going through and checking the salvage for. They'd open up that one, throw them across, get them loaded up, and you can go through and haul, what was it? It's 96 SCU of cargo, I believe.
Yeah, 96. Mm-hmm.
And and you just drop them back in. We take off and go to the next one. And it was really convenient because you did have that open space. I know that Huaha also went through and used the Hull A and did that for a bit. And that actually proved really well, except you couldn't get the 32 SCU cargo modules on there, Huaha.
Yeah, you can't get the 30. I use the Hull A as well.
Yeah.
So the 24 is the max size that you can get on there, correct?
16.
Oh, the 16. Oh, okay.
Yep. It has 4 spots that can hold a 16 each.
Okay, that works out then. Well, the Orion was concepted a long time ago. So no wonder it looks so different. And yeah, that's what we were saying earlier, Chad. Also, I appreciate everybody being here. we don't do a whole lot of live streams, and I do like the speculation. One of our favorite things to do is outside of playing Star Citizen is just speculating and theory crafting on stuff for Star Citizen. So it's nice to see there's a lot of people in the community that also like to get involved with like just giving out the little bit of extra info, because there's so much info that everybody knows about so many different little small things that there's so much information out there that you can't grab it all. So it's nice when people are able to bring in just extra bit of knowledge in there. And I saw Ken's little quote that he put up there, because talk is cheap, but bullets are cheaper. And that's hilarious. So I just wanted to say thank you guys. I appreciate you guys. If you guys don't mind, drop a like on the video if you don't mind. It does go through and help just with the algorithms, with everything on there. About Perseus, what I mean, you cannot put laser size 7s, will always be ballistic cannons, and the other 3 turrets, smallers, are already on blades. Oh, so they're on the AI blades. And that's another thing that I started noticing on Urkel. I don't know if you saw that, Panda, but Urkel actually starts to have information on there about automated turrets, like automated systems. And that was a new one to me. I saw that with the latest update for...
Yeah, I think someone
Urkel.
else was... I think someone else was talking about it with specifically with Origin Day being today, and someone was talking about how the Origin has low crew counts because they're going to have a lot of these automated systems. So
Right.
I think
Which
it's
kind
also
of makes
spinning
sense
up.
for, you know,
Yeah.
the bouginess of... You can't even overwork your pilot, because that's not what we do on this 890G.
Well, and automated systems is different from what Toaster brought up earlier about AI. We may have AI crew, so even if your ship doesn't have an automated system, you could hire an AI member or an NPC member, and isn't that the same?
I mean, yes, I would think that there would probably be faster reaction times for an AI blade versus an NPC, hired NPC. I don't know. I think that probably the AI blades will be more expensive than hiring an NPC.
Yeah.
You know, that's just me. Um, I'm wondering though, like with the introduction, so kind of going back to what this whole thing is about, with the Super Freighter, the Drake Super Freighter, which we will know tomorrow, 9 o'clock or 8 o'clock PST, 9 a.m. Mountain Time, and
11
10
a.m.
p.m.
Eastern.
Central, 11 Eastern, like 5 in the evening in the UK. I think it's something like that. We will know, and I'm expecting a big video to come out. Also, I'm kind of missing Jax.
Yeah, I am missing Jex. I liked the Humble Bounty Hunter guy. That was fun. Mission
Burrito I
complete.
eat.
A burrito I eat. Yeah, I do like that guy.
That guy was
That was
hilarious.
good. Well, and Toaster just had also brought up something earlier we didn't chat about, was Gattack was a ship release, and then the next day was a video, the Bounty Hunter videos. And then Crusader was a ship release, the C1, and then today was a video. So another hit that tomorrow might be something big.
Yeah.
We're on this pattern of release video, and tomorrow hits on a release. So
And honestly, I think with the momentum that they got, not only within the community off of the CitizenCon, but with the widespread momentum that they got with a lot of people really kind of... I want to see the numbers of how many people are actually trying the free fly right now versus in the past years, because big major guys were going through and doing reviews and talking about the game and bringing it up on their stream.
everyone
These guys
saw
that
the
were going through
Osmond
and,
Gold
like,
video. Everyone
yeah,
who's
the
anyone
Asmongold video had
saw the
millions of
Osmond Gold
views on
video.
it immediately. So I'm thinking that they're really trying to go through and say, yep, boom, new ship, boom, new ship, free fly, new stuff. I'll check out all the things. And I think they're really trying to go through and get that focus on it, because, you know, I think they had to have an understanding that this was probably going to go through with this big release. Say it's in the full final stages, or it's what is it? Feature complete and in final polishing stages. I think they were looking at trying to go through and really draw a lot of attention to this, both to Squadron 42 and to Star Citizen, and coming up with IAE literally like 3 weeks after CitizenCon, and getting it to where brand new ships coming out. The servers are actually running quite smooth in comparison to even during a free fly, comparing to the last 4 or 5 years of free fly events. Like they actually are. There's a lot less bugs. We were talking about this last night. It's actually a really good time in the game because even with 30Ks and crash to desktops, there's a lot of features in place to make it to where it's like, okay, cool, my stuff is still there. I didn't lose it. And I haven't died. I'm knocking on some wood here. I haven't died in an elevator, and I don't know how long. And I just want to point that out.
Mhm.
I haven't died in an elevator or had to backspace because I got stuck in an elevator and I don't know how long. And I've put a lot of hours into Star Citizen this year.
Yeah, the free fly is quite stable. Parrot those exact words. And what we were talking about earlier specifically was that 318, possibly the worst experience, wasn't that long ago. And so they've really done, because 318 was absolutely, we don't even need to talk about it. If we just collectively dismissed 318 from our memories, everything would be
out
okay.
Of our head.
But that was not that long ago, and so for this to be as stable and as well running as it is now, that's fantastic.
And it's not like they built it because 3.21 is on 3.21 architecture, right? They didn't go through and keep 3.20. It's 3.21 architecture because 3.19 was still built off of 3.18 build and the architecture for it. So this 3.21 is on its own build. It's not a 3.20 expansion. And we already got 3.21.1 in, which we knew that was going to be hitting right before IAE. But they're already talking about going through and introducing, the last bit of information I got was they're going to try to go through and introduce the replication layer in 3.21.2. But hear me out here. 3.22 is due by end of the year, right? Or
first week of December, not even end of the year.
But we've seen that before get pushed out. I think in the beginning of this year, 3.17 got pushed out until like mid-January or something like that, wasn't it? It was pretty late that we actually got that one. So that one can get pushed, but I'm saying if they can go through and get the introduction of the replication layer into the PU by the end of the year, I'd be super stoked. But getting that in and then 3.22 smacking right on top of that with having the replication layer in and all the cool new stuff, salvage 2.0 with vehicle munching, the hair, okay, cool. But
yeah,
salvage 2.0, bounty hunting 1.5.
It is my belief that the second IAE is over, we will be getting the replication layer on the test server on the tech preview. It'll be just like they did the Pyro, and we'll be able to play some servers.
I thought replication layer was supposed to be hitting not tech preview, but hitting PTU, because tech preview is different.
Then it may be PTU, but I believe it is my belief that after IAE that will pop up. That is their next endeavor. We will be testing replication layer after the show. Almost immediately after. Like I literally wouldn't even bet. I almost would bet the next day.
Yeah, because they're going to have to go through. They don't want to go through and have anything that's going to mess up how smooth the servers are running right now. They're not going to go through and be like, all right, guys, halfway through, we're going to change it to 3.21.2 or anything like that or anything. Like it's going to go after the show. But I do agree with you. I think that because the 30th is the last day of the show.
Yes.
There's only 30 days in November, so December 1st. So yeah, it'll probably be that between the 1st and the 3rd, because they also, when do they usually take break for holidays and it's like minimal like crew in there for the holidays? Is it like the 3rd and 4th week of December?
I'm unsure when they start it. I'm unsure. But I'm positive it is that last week of December.
I was going to say, somebody said bring Ollie back, but then I thought it was you.
Well, because Ranger was asking about Port Olisar. Nothing is better than Port Olisar. As a backer since 2014, Port Olisar was my home, and I'm very sad that it's gone. And I'll say that every chance I can.
I wish they would have done something else with it. Maybe migrated over to the place where Nick's used to be, or where,
or even Kit Bash, make an ugly cargo. Oh, sorry, Wah, you go, please.
I thought I heard that they were going to put it in some way.
I think it's gone, mate. I think it's gone.
Didn't the video have it like crashing down to Crusader?
I think it's gone. I would have liked, even if they kit bashed or made it look ugly, just to attach a more modern car. Like, yes, years later, cargo centers became more prevalent, and we added one. But
Yeah, no,
Port
nothing was
Ollie
better
was.
than Ollie. Ollie was. We ran so much out of Ollie back in. Let's see,
I mean, it
Ollie
was the
came
only
through. It was
place.
like 2.5.
I literally remember when it was just all SR, and you could go to Yella, and you could go to Daymar, and you could go to Selin. That was it. You could land on there to one of the Platinum Bay pads and call your vehicles. That was it. This is before caves. This is before wreck sites. This is before any of that shit.
Yeah, because at one point in time, the only things we really had after Ollie and being able to fly out, the next part introduced. What's the stupid over by Daymar? It's not. The it was a mission that you'd go in there and you do the little stories of the journals and everything like that.
Grundle. Kovalex shipping system. Yeah, the Kovalex shipping hub. Yeah, we would do that just every fucking day. We would run. I keep cursing. I'm so sorry.
I've been cursing up a storm, but it was like that for a while. That was all we had. It was before you could even really get down to planets and everything like that. So that spot. So like Panda's been a backer since 2014. I've been a backer since September 2013, and before as me and Panda met in Counter Strike, CS:GO. We were playing and playing and playing, and then we started talking about like, back Star Citizen and back Star Citizen, and we just started playing that. But it was that time frame whenever it was just like when there wasn't much, because we all remember back if you've been with Star Citizen long enough, you remember the time whenever we first got the introduction of the ship hangars, to where you could go through and look in your ship and get like 5 frames a second, maybe, and half the time it would just crash the desktop because you went to try to go through and sit in the pilot seat. And there's all these iterations for longtime backers that remember those time frames whenever it went from being JPEGs to be like, oh shit, I can go through and get into a Gladius, or I can go through and get into a Mustang, or
yeah, I will never forget the first time I like boarded an Aurora, and I was like, this is gonna be the coolest shit ever.
Yeah.
One of my buddies early on had a Retaliator, so one of my first big ships was Retaliator. That was just awe-inspiring.
Let's see, what do we got going on in the chat? When do we get Levski back? Levski is in the Nyx system.
It'll be in Nyx, which is after Pyro. But I'm hoping that.
Do we have anything is Pyro connected to Nyx?
I have no clue. We'd have to look at the map.
I know Terra. Oh shit, I don't remember. Yeah. There was a fuel station 2 when it was just Ollie. I remember when they were launching.
Yep, I backed the old Mustang. I had an old Mustang, Gary, for a while. I haven't had one since the rework, but I had the original Mustang Beta, and I liked that thing a lot. I had that thing.
Yeah. Doing science, watching how many people can fit the Aurora at 20 FPS. Let's see.
Gosh, the Cutlass rework. Yeah, that was another one. The old Cutlass with the docking collar right in the center of the room and the weird netting around. That was cool, dude. It was also just a much smaller ship.
Get tons of things to put into the hangar, like a fish tank and things. Yeah, I still have in my inventory, which I would love to go through and pull up, but we tried to doing that earlier. I still have things in my inventory. Like I was a backer for a while, and so like all of the like iterations of like the things that you get in your inventory, and you had the fish tank, and you had little mini ship models, and
the jukebox and the fish tank are the big ones that I have.
The jukebox, the towel for 42 million.
Yeah, the towel, and then all the Christmas wreaths. We used to get like a bunch of just weird Christmas stuff. Now before Luminalia, it was just like, oh, here's a Christmas gift.
Old Mustang entrance, like it was a deep sea sub. These Pyro and Nyx are connected. Okay, thank you. Is it EM or I am sickness? Okay, shut up. It's a good name. I'll give you that. My claps here. Got the Mustang Omega. Nice toaster. Remember the old Mustang beta, the shag pit and the old carpets? No, it's yellow
Yeah,
and
it literally
industrial.
used to look like a Winnebago. Now it looks pretty good. It looks pretty good.
Pyro is the gateway to Nyx and Odin from Stanton. Medium jump point between Pyro and Nyx. Small jump point between Pyro and Terra. And that's the other thing too that I'm really interested to see how they're going to go through and do is getting the different sizes for the jump points through. I know that they've done a lot of talking and kind of reworking how the jump point system would work, but I don't know if they have given like kind of final information out. Obviously, it's got to happen pretty soon because, you know, I suspect that we'll be getting into Pyro relatively soon in the next year.
Yes, Toaster. I have those first subscriber armor. I have the Iron Man set, and I have the dirt set. The fuck. What is it? What are they called? The Terra Dirt set. I've got the 2 of those first armors. And we got arms a month, and then the next month we got legs, and the next month we got what a different time.
Nemesis, I appreciate you. Post Squadron 42 release, it'll be interesting watching CIG gives us what CIG gives us in regards to Odin as a system. And that's the other thing too, because what was it, like 3 years ago, they opened up the Canada team, the Montreal team, and their whole thing was to be going through and like developing the system. So I think once we start to go through and get the replication layer put in, the static server meshing put in, the first iteration of that will be with Pyro because you'll have static Stanton server and a static Pyro server, and you'll be doing a transition between there. But once we start getting that move through, like we've been developing all of the tech behind it and all the systems behind everything for the past, honestly, like 5 years. They've been developing and redeveloping stuff. But right now we're getting to that point to where we're going to start seeing more and more stuff coming out. Like it's actually going to start going through and like exponentially growing instead of being like, we got this one thing this year and a couple of ships. And then the next year is like, we got like 2 things this year and a couple of ships. We're going to start seeing, we're at that turning point now to where that it's going to happen. And then it's going to be like, boom, boom, boom.
I think the same thing with ships. I think we are about to see, we're getting like 12 ships this year. I bet you next year we get 20. Like easily, hands down, 20. Ships, environments, planets, systems, they are going to exponentially get better and be reiterated. Mining 2.0 will come faster, mining 3.0 will come faster, so on and so forth. The only way they could really mess up now is if they start like laying off developers. They have one of the best teams doing the best thing for this game. They need to keep it, right? I don't want to hear, and I really don't want to hear some nasty shit about the crunch or about what's going on. Like if they've got bad like inner office culture, like as long as we can avoid those pitfalls of traditional gaming, we're really, this is the beginning of the end. We have made it to when they say they held the line, I think that's what they're talking about. We've made it to the point from here on out, Star Citizen is going to be different from what it was from here on back.
Yeah, because we've been like through this fight, and it's, whether you're a brand new fresh backer, like for brand new fresh backers, I'm actually quite jealous because, for guys like a lot of us in the chat that are really in here and about seeing everything, every little bit of detail for it, and the guys like Panda and myself that have been here for 9-10 years, like it's one of those things where it's just like we've been the ones that, like, I've had so many of my friends like still like laugh about different things that are going through until they actually started playing it. Like my buddy Josh, my buddy Mike, my buddy Ryan, like going through and like, really, how much have you spent on there? And I'm like, dude, I don't, like, I get it, like, but also like they're starting to go through and be like, oh shit, like that's actually looks really amazing. That actually seems like really cool stuff. And actually hearing about the different stuff for server meshing, because most of my friends work in tech as well. So like, oh, they discovered server meshing, like in a snooty little way. And I'm just like, no. You don't understand the scale. And they're like, other games have server meshing. I was like, I agree. I didn't say they didn't. Let's talk about the dynamic server meshing and the scale for it that we're doing in there. And then actually them going and logging into the game. And they're like, how the hell do you even do this in server meshing? Like, how can you get this stuff to work? So like it's turning them around to the point to where they're actually starting to become like the believers, and like they're actually doing something that isn't readily done in most games nowadays. My buddy Josh, me and Huaha and Josh were actually playing the other night, and we were kind of going through the same conversation in the sense that it's just like right now, as it stands, if they release Star Citizen right now as it stands and just got everything perfected in there, it would be the most complicated, complex, in-depth space simulation game ever. The amount of complexity and level of detail that they have on a single ship, like the Reclaimer we were flying the other day, which I still think that it should be cleaned. They couldn't, all that money, they couldn't go through and get that damn thing cleaned.
Especially when you buy a new one, it should come new and fresh.
Yeah, don't give me like what are those blood stains on the wall? I don't want to know what happened in here. Did somebody at the factory die in the ship? Do they sacrifice a single worker every ship that's built? And they're like, oh, we need some blood here. Need some blood over there. The kitchens need blood, or the mess hall. But with talking to him and going through and saying the way we're talking about is like you could have a game that's literally just the Reclaimer and go down to a single planet, but there's, you know, you'd have loading screens, you'd have everything else that's out there. I'm sure they're amazing loading screens, but but like just that level of detail and the functionality that you can do with just the Reclaimer could be an entire game by itself for some manufacturers, for some game companies out there. And they're like, nah, hold my beer.
We're gonna have 200 plus ships, 100 maybe more galaxies, hundreds of Lagrange points and landable locations, each that have some level of uniqueness and artistic design. Oh, and yes, we're gonna procedurally generate a lot of the environment and planets, but everything you see will have someone's touch. Some person will have gone through and curated that experience. Holy crap.
On top of that, you're going to be able to go through and have base building out in locations to where you can go through and be like, sweet, and this is my area of this planet on this random, you know, star system or you know, on a moon. I want to go through and try to go through and build something on an asteroid field. I don't know if that's going to be possible, but I'm just saying. But yeah, it's like between all of that and everything else, and I was telling this to my buddy Josh, and he was just like, at that point in time, he was blown away, and he wanted to go through. Like, he's the type of gamer, he likes to go through and do a lot of more of the FPS gameplay. Likes to play a lot of Destiny. Likes to play a lot of games that have a lot of action with them. I'm like, sweet, yeah, bunker missions, the raids, everything they're going to have in bounty hunting. You know, there's going to be militaristic gameplay as well in there too. There's going to be, you know, missions that are coming through. Like right now, we're in a safe system, right? Stanton is owned by commercial companies, the 4 commercial companies, Microtech, Crusader Industries, Hurston Dynamics. What do they have? I know ArtCorp is another corporation, but there's stuff that's built on there. But we have it's
Microtech.
Microtech. No.
No, did I mess that up?
ArtCorp.
Okay, yes.
But we're in a safe system. That's why they developed it into the system, right? You have the next introduction of Pyro, right? A lawless system, a traditionally UEE set lawless system, but you have other systems that are out there that are going to be close to the what's the big bad in this game?
The Vandal, man.
I can never remember, even though I was thinking the Vandal Swarm, and I'm like, what is their name?
The Vandal. They're evil.
Shut up. So right now with the introduction of the Vandals, but also you got to think that there's other pyro organizations or there's other places where they might have a stronger hold, and there's going to be UEE confrontations that are going to go through and be something similar to missions and everything off of Squadron 42. They're going to be taking place in other star systems within the galaxy, right? So you're going to have that to where there's going to be places where you're going to have militaristic stuff, to where it's going to be land-based, missions that are going to be, fighting and taking out enemies. They're going to be vehicle-based combat missions. They're going to be like all of these things are things that will be able to get put into the game, and they'll have the systems for them put in place. It's just right now everybody thinks of it as Stanton, and they're like, yeah, well, there's nothing to do here. And I'm like, you're thinking of it from like an MMORPG. You're thinking of it from a WoW level, because you're not getting a quest every 5 feet asking you to go through and grab something and bring it back to them. This is a massive multi-online player sandbox game that has lots of opportunity for creating emergent gameplay and content, but also has in place contracting and mission systems, mission board systems to be able to go through and do work outside of stuff just out directly in there. But so many people try out this game and go through and say like, yeah, there's nothing to do. I flew around, I landed on a planet, I died like 4 times trying to go I got lost trying to find the damn Riker spaceport because I started off in Area 18. It looks just like Cyberpunk. And like you'll see so many people that will denigrate and knock the game because it's not something that they're used to playing. They're not, because it's not game A that I just came from. You'll have people that have never heard of Star Citizen that will probably come in here and go through and be like, oh, this is just a Starfield ripoff. I'm sure somebody's going to make that comment.
Someone's going to say that, but that's clearly misplaced. That's clearly a misunderstanding of the game.
Kevithar, we were actually just talking about it earlier. My mama says elevators are the devil. No, it's true. But also, when's the last time you died in an elevator in this game? I haven't died in an elevator in probably... $3.18?
Yeah, I think 3.18 for sure.
Maybe
I almost
3.19.
did a couple nights ago, but that was completely unrelated to that issue.
Not, it was an ID10T error. The problem is that so many backers are going to have fleets. There's going to have to be AI or these big ships selling SC will never leave their docks.
Yeah,
it's true. But there's also people like me, because you got to think that a lot of the backers and a lot of the big content creators, which I am not one of those, right? But I am just a concierge because I like to spend money on this game. But even though I have a big fleet, I also have a separate account, my Nerdy Gentleman account, which has a Drake cutter. It's all it has. That's all it will ever have on there because I want to be able to go through and have the experience of, starting from the bottom, now I'm here kind of thing. But I also want to be able to go through and do the larger stuff for the larger game content because a lot of that stuff that I'm buying for my fleets in game is what we were talking about in the video today, which is like the org gameplay aspect, because we actually do want to have an organization to where we can have a group of people that can't typically do that. Because I'm going to put it out there, probably 75 to 80% of the community of the backers that have already bought ships in game right now have a starter ship, and that's it.
Certainly.
Out of the 4.8 million people that have actually created an account and bought, and purchased something in game, which I think is the number, is right about 4.8 million unique people that have done that, or at least unique accounts that have been set up for that. Something like 75 or 80% of those have a starter ship package. Most likely, most of them are like the MR or whatever. What is that one?
45. Yeah, the MR. $45 package.
What's the name?
No, the LN. I'm so sorry. Is
it the LN?
Yeah, the LN is the cheap one. The Aurora LN.
Aurora, thank you.
Aurora is what you were looking for. I apologize. I didn't understand what you were looking for.
So they're either going to have that or going to have like the Mustang or something like that, but they're going to have like a $45 to $60 package, and that's where they're going to be at. And there are those ones that have the giant fleets, or they have, maybe they spent $500 for a bigger ship to go through and do stuff, but they might have just that, right? I'm saying that whenever full release game actually does come out, when we get to that point, a full release game or whatever, it's not going to be something to where you can go out and do like we're doing right now and go and getting a salvage mission, picking up Maze or something like that, and going through and being like, sweet, we just made 4 million credits. It's going to be something to where to make 1 million credits, it might take you a week or two of playing the game. It's going to be.
I don't know about that.
I'm thinking it's going to be much more scaled down because they actually want to have that. Right now, we're in a spot to where they want you to be able to go through and quickly be able to buy out ships, buy out things.
They are going to slow it down. I agree, but I don't think $1 million a week. There's no way that an organized guild would make millions per day.
Oh no! I'm not talking about a guild. I'm talking about a player.
A player. Okay, fair.
A player. A guild, absolutely. And no, it's an organization.
Organization.
How many times?
A organized organization didn't sound right either. An organized organization will make much more than a single player. Absolutely.
And, there's going to be opportunity for different things on there, but it's going to be one of those things to where they're going to bring that back down because they actually want to make it to where it's momentous to get a new ship, right? Right now, people will go out and they'll make some money. They'll honestly, they can go out and within a day or two, go there and make a couple million credits, go out and buy a couple of ships, and they're like, all right, I'm bored. I got the ship that I wanted, because that's what they're putting it as their.
There's no money dump. Yeah, ship. This game is missing the second half. The tech demo that we played today of Star Citizen is missing a second half, or we don't have anywhere to spend this money that we do make.
I like how Ken said only someone very ignorant will waste the time comparing this to Starfield. It's embarrassing to do so, as he is.
Yeah, I do want to point out one thing. I'm just going to play devil's advocate. I think Starfield did something good for Star Citizen, and that's that it got the casual Xbox and PlayStation players thinking that they like space games. Because space games in general are on the decline. But Starfield kind of gave a casual, low-level experience to a lot of people, and I think that that's going to help Star Citizen in the future. Because even some of those are kids. Like, you got to think about it. Like, the younger generation played Starfield, and when Star Citizen comes out, they're going to be a little bit older, and they're going to want something more in-depth, and here it is.
Yeah, about 10 years older.
Right, it could be 10 years older, but that's exactly what I'm saying. I think Starfield did something good for us.
Played Starfield when I was 12. I'm 22 now, and this new game, Star Citizen, just came out. I'm like, yeah, it's actually just released. Oh man, it's ridiculous. But no, I absolutely agree with you. I think that was one thing that Starfield really did great in the sense that they just go through and beyond just going through and getting people like interested in it, it made them yearn because it was missing something still. And most people that I've seen that never even played Star Citizen, they played through Starfield. They played through like the first playthrough and stuff like that. And some people played a couple new game pluses, and then they were just like, yeah, but it didn't hold me. There was something missing. Some of the people that I talked to, they also played Space Engineers. So they were like, yeah, I liked Space Engineers more for a lot of the depth that it had. And I was like, cool. Have I got a game for you? It's not ready yet. Like, keep it in the oven. Keep it baking. I'm going to come back, make sure it's going to be at a good spot. But I think that, honestly, Starfield set up a good population of people to be like, yes, I actually do like single-player games and story-based games that are set in space. That's what it did, because Squadron 42, which we're estimating probably October, November release, right? So it'll be like a year and a couple months, or no, about a year after Starfield.
I think Chris knows the date. He just couldn't say it.
Absolutely.
The smirk the guy had on his face. I think he has the date. He knows the date. It's not like it's some unknown entity. It's a known entity now, and they're just not telling us. I think October would be good. My only worry is that it's actually going to be like next February.
Like
2025, yeah.
No. Because if you release too early in the year, you can't be put up for Game of the Year. It doesn't even come into consideration because so much stuff comes out. There's so many games that come out now. Most big manufacturers go through and release last.
You're positive it's going to be fall?
3 or 4 months. I'm putting it as
not a spring game.
I would say earliest. I would say is maybe August, September. Earliest is what I'm guesstimating.
Okay.
I'm so stoked for Squadron 42. I held the line, bro. We all held the fucking line. Hell yeah, we did. Major Star Stuff, how's it going, buddy? We're talking about the Fatterpillar, this bad boy right here, the Super Freighter Speculators, amongst everything else. It started off just as a conversation about the Super Freighter because tomorrow's Drake Day. I didn't want to put a video out because I didn't think it would get the traction that it needed. So I was like, fuck it, let's do a live stream and just talk about this stuff live, and then also be able to just talk to everybody else that popped in here. I was not expecting. I think the most I've had as a concurrent viewers on YouTube live streams before this has been like 8. So
no, we had 12. I remember 12.
12. Okay, all right. I'll give you 12. I think we had up to like 79 in here earlier, which was pretty great. But so we just started talking about with the Drake Interplanetary. I'm expecting at 8:00 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. 9 p.m. No, I mean 9 a.m. When the fuck would it be 9 p.m.? I don't know. 9 a.m. Mountain Time. I'm expecting to see some sort of information pop out about a pre-purchase or a ship sale. What is it? Damn it, I can never remember. You said it earlier. The word pre-ordering.
Concept sale.
Concept sale, Dream. You've been here
that word
since 2013.
Shut up! I know.
Get it
how many concept sales have I
gone through?
But I'm saying that there's going to be a Super Freighter coming out, or I'm saying I'm really, really, really hoping with all the hopium that I can muster, that
I
there
think
is
yeah.
some sort of Drake competitor to
Yeah.
the freaking Hull C.
Yeah. We are definitely getting the Drake Cutter Expedition. That is not what we are talking about here. Just so that's apparently clear.
We know that.
That is,
yeah,
that
we know
is
that they're
tucked
going to be
away.
coming out. The expedition.
We are getting
that
a
one's coming
new
out.
concept sail Drake ship tomorrow. I don't have any money, but I'd
You
put
know what I
money
would
on
like to see? I'm going to put this out there right now. I would like to see the Fatterpillar come out and also have some synergy between other Drake ships. I would love to be able to go through and see and have a specific spot in there that a cutter just fits perfectly into, and is set to where it's like, oh yeah, just bring your Drake cutter, fly it out to your Fatterpillar, land right on deck, and just keep on going. Right? I would love to go through and see that, because that's one thing that I think that a lot of, and obviously with the size that it is, because the cutter is a small ship, yeah. So obviously it would be a spot for landing and everything like that of any small ship, but I would like to go through and start seeing more ships of the large category. Damn it. But would the Super Freighter, would the Fatterpillar be considered a capital size ship? Is the Hull C is not a capital, is it?
So the Hull C is the same thing as a Reclaimer, where it's got one capital component, the engine.
But I don't think it's actually classified as a
capital. I don't believe so.
Ships Hull C. I almost typed in Fatterpillar for some reason. It is large size, so it fills up a large size, and I think that's just because in the compacted set it is large size. Wait, because of I missed. Apparently, that's a lot of chat that happened through when CR was on the mic. He knew someone is hovering over the mute mic button. They're just like, "Don't you?"
No, he knows the date. That's what I'm excited about. Is it's no longer up in the air. It is a known quantity. We don't know the quantity, but the quantity is known.
Gary Drum said, "I expect a SitCon 2954 date announcement with a beta to play at SitCon."
That's a whole nother year, which is actually
no.
I'm
not saying it's not going to be a beta. I'm saying it's not even going to be a beta. I'm going to say that's going to be at release. Like there's going to be beta stuff, and it might be Concierge, it might be Evocati, it might be stuff, but there's going to be beta stuff that's going to be going on, because I'm saying that the next time he goes through and announces it, with the huge marketing that he got behind this one, like I won't say the free marketing, because they obviously had to set up CitizenCon, but that was a huge amount of extra eyes that got put on it. They're not going to go to release with a beta next year. They're wanting to be released next year. They will not go to another CitizenCon with a beta.
I almost think they will. That's my bet. I agree with him. Next CitizenCon will be announced that you can play. It'll be a short beta and then a game. Not a long beta. It'll be a short beta. And then a game.
I still say I'm thinking that it's going to be one of those things to where the beta is going to come out before they're going to do a lot of testing.
He did have a smug ass grin, Aosha. He did. That's what I'm saying. His face was all puckered up. He knew.
He did.
He knew. He just couldn't tell us.
And I also think that, and the other thing is, I'm going to say that within 18 months after initial release, within 18 months, I'm going to say they're going to have a conversion over to console.
Yeah, for sure. It'll come
18
after
months max,
and it'll come after. It may not even be that long. It may be within the same year.
It might not be. That's why I'm giving it the 18-month time frame, just because most of the times we see games that are built for console and then like converted over to freaking like PC, and we kind of get the crap end of it. But yeah, don't trade Maze. Take it. What? Where am I missing? It would be awesome to claw.
I don't remember the Maze comp.
Claw that swings out to give a better angle on loading. Modularity, it's probably not a new Drake Fatterpillar. The Caterpillar is supposed to have an expansive modular base, and the modular attachment spaces. You know what? I actually wouldn't even be that fucking upset, Michael, if it was full modularity introduced into and set to for the Caterpillar, and like saying like, yeah, no. Okay, so we redid the Caterpillar 3.22. It's going to be.
No, Tally's getting modularity first. That one can't be right.
I won't fight with Peg on that. But I wouldn't even be upset with that. However, with that, I would expect them to go through and do a complete rework of the systems to go through and get it up to gold standard as of right now. And I don't think they're going to do that until they get everything else that they need to get in. And then they're going to start going through and gold standarding stuff. That's why I would say it's easier for them to go through and release the Fatterpillar than it is for them to upgrade and modularize.
No, I think you just answered another one of our questions.
What?
That it's going to be a capital class ship because the Caterpillar will be a medium ship that's expandable and cover into the large ship territory. Meaning this thing has to be a capital ship. So sorry to cut you off. I got very excited there. I think it's going to be a capital ship.
Point. Well, and at that point in time, if they're going through that size with a capital ship, that is not an expandable system like the hull. If they're actually going for something that is based off of our beautiful Fatterpillar Super Freighter Speculator size. One, I still do love this idea. I look at it every time, and just seeing like these 32 SCU cargo containers just like slotted in there, it makes me so happy. And I know this is from the leak, the pipeline leaks, a super early concept of a great Drake freighter. But just this right here makes Nerdy very happy.
It's going to be capital class. It's going to be huge, dude. It's easily going to carry 4,000 cargo.
Yeah, if it is
maybe
capital
more
class, then I would expect it to go through and carry a full 4,000 and have other functionality in it with it being. It's obviously they don't want to go through and intrude on the Kraken, right? With the landing and the things, but they have to have some sort of ability to go through and have other people, whether that's delivering stuff out to it or having a shuttle out there. Like they're gonna have to have something to where they can go through and have multi-crew functionality in there. What's gonna happen? You're gonna have to go through and provide the protection, because that's the other thing too, is Drake's set up as a side eye looking away while going through and giving the thumbs up towards piracy. And what do pirates need is protection, right? They're going to need to go through and make sure that at the inside this ship, they can go through and cover their ass. They're not looking to go through and bring extra help. They are the extra help. And that's what this stuff is set for. And whether that's being able to go through and house a small fighter bay of snubs or something like that inside there, or a small fighter bay of fucking Furies, because those things are little monsters.
Furies can fit anywhere. They broke the game. True. No one realizes it yet, but the Fury
if you had a specific bay that was just like, sweet, close to access for getting into there from the living quarters and getting out there and tearing shit up, along with having on top, size 5, size 6, size 7 turret systems to go through and say like, oh yeah, handle us with your own peril. Come try to take this shit at your own peril. I don't know. I'm super excited, but no, that does point out a really good point of with the modularity and everything like that, moving it into a larger size. So this going through and being a capital size ship. Is the Caterpillar a medium size ship? Really?
It's a medium.
No.
It's medium. Really? But it's expandable. There's no reason you couldn't have. I mean, I don't know if the number is up to 10, but there's no reason you couldn't have more modules.
It says size large.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
I'm like, it's 110 meters long or 111 meters long. I thought I could have swore it was on the large.
Size isn't what matters. It's componentry.
All right, let's go look at the components. Size large, size small. What is that? Oh, the command pod. This is the quantanium fuel for the command pod. Size large, size large, size large.
Okay, then it's definitely large.
Size large, size large.
But length isn't what matters. What I'm trying to say.
What are you telling us not, Ken? What were you telling us not to jinx? Sorry, I'm trying to catch up down.
Oh, the release. The release. He didn't want us to jinx the release.
Gotcha. 6 row, but back from whale row. What?
He was talking about he was there at the event and he was smiling.
Gotcha.
He saw Chris Roberts' face. I got you, Dream. Don't worry. Let's keep going.
Appreciate
we'll catch up.
Nemesis, A51. I don't know. Track for M89. Perseus. Ships to kill. Gotcha. I agree. Full modularity finally arrived for many ships. Yeah, no. When full modularity comes in, I'm gonna be ecstatic. Caterpillar Quarks bar module.
Just a bar module.
Gotcha.
And then Ken
Congrats,
bought
you all.
the
You've convinced
Retaliator.
me to get a base Retaliator from this IAE. That, you know what?
Spread
No,
the
that's
love.
That's all Panda. Panda
Spread the
convinced
love.
you to get the base level Retaliator from IAE. What if this is just a redone Caterpillar? Okay.
Yeah, I'd be okay too. I'd be okay too.
Because I've been wanting it for like 4 years, 5 years.
It's old and it needs lots of work, so.
What modules will have Caterpillar? I guess what modules will the Caterpillar have? So the ones that we know about that they talked about from the initial introduction of the Caterpillar was a dropship module. So basically just a lot of seats and able to go out. A medical bay module, and a wasn't there like a liquid or like a fuel module or something like that?
Yep, there's going to be fuel pods as well. For sure. Yeah, fuel
drone
storage. Drone module. We can also expand, most likely, a medical module now that medical gameplay is in.
Yeah.
No reason you couldn't do a salvage module with little salvage arms or mining arms, but the salvage and the mining one would look quite similar.
Hopefully this bad boy gets put in there because this one is amazing, which is the carrier module. This is a fan made version, but dear God, does this look? Yes, I want this because this could be able to go through and stack right on top, and I love this idea. I think that is just gorgeous. Let's see. So then, do we think the Polaris size or bigger? Oh, for like the Fatterpillar?
Bigger. As big.
How big is a Polaris?
Polaris is pretty big. It's a smaller capital. So pretty big. It's bigger than the Perseus. Bigger than the Galaxy.
Yes.
Bigger
Polaris
than
is
the
164 meters long, 77 wide. So I mean, the Caterpillar right now is 111 long and 34 wide. I can actually look it up right here. Right, so Caterpillar is 111 long and 39 wide and 13 tall. So I mean, yeah, this is like baby capital. That's kind of how I would put it for the Polaris.
Yeah, it's a smaller capital. Corvette. That's actually what they're calling it. That and the Hammerhead are Corvette class ships, which, and the Hammerhead, it's pretty fucking big. But they're not capital ships. In fact, I think that the Corvette class should be the Reclaimer size as well. I don't think it should be a capital. It should be.
Let's see. Corvette. I would take a giant cargo, but also highly limited modularity. Highly limited modularity
on the Fatterpillar, I believe he's saying, like, let's get a high one, but maybe not so much modularity, which I think I could trade for, right? If we get
honestly, modularity to me, especially when you're looking at ships like the Galaxy and stuff like that, I'm like, it's cool, but that's its function, right? That's its gimmick. A Fatterpillar, I'm looking. Give me a big ass cargo ship that doesn't necessarily have to have modularity into it, but allow me to go through and say, like, cool, I can go through and land a small ship on here, like a size small, not a extra small or a snub or whatever. Like, give me the ability to go through and land a small ship on here, or two, and a giant cargo base, and I'm perfectly happy with that. Like, I don't need the modularity functionality for it. I don't need to go through and be like, well, I want my Fatterpillar to also do. No, make it really good at what it does, and that's it. Pirates also need an option to quickly. Oh man,
chat is blowing up, dude. Chat's blowing up.
Apparently, they really like this conversation with this stuff because I'm trying to keep up with it. Let's see, major star stuff, Quarks module, available on Origin Ship 2. Make it happen, CIG. I would take a giant cargo, but summons merchantman. For almost how far open. I gotta get my Fury back out of buyback. I really did dig the Fury. Pirates also need an option to quickly throw on large cargo into the side of the ship. I agree, because they need to go through and get in and out of places quick. And that would also go through for like the illicit salvage cargo missions and stuff like that. The potential Murray heavy fighter. Oh yeah, I called it the Fury Max.
Max XXXXX.
With
like a T-shirt.
Yeah. Or I like that people started calling it the Fat Fury. Because that's just hilarious. Sounds like a bad, like it sounds like it would be a villain off of Mystery Men. Did you ever watch that? Ben Stiller and a bunch of guys, the superhero movie from
No, I never saw.
late 90s, early 2000s. You should watch Mystery Men. It's really good. Let's see. By the way, remember the potential. No, so okay, yeah. By the way, remember the potential Mirai heavy fighter. Yep. It's not the size of your Fatterpillar. It's how you use it. I want to see a shirt in game that says it's not the size of your Fatterpillar. It's how you use it.
No.
Detachable command module would have a use if you could drop off a cat, then pick up a fatty. Well, it just gets even better every time. While that is being unloaded. Yeah. I would love to see intercompatibility between the modules, the cargo
If that became
modules.
a Drake thing, that'd be so cool. That captain's module can ship to ship to ship. That would be so cool.
Or they
that
went
was
through
a
and
Drake
did
thing.
yep. I'm just gonna stop it right there. Yep, that would be cool. I was gonna say like integrate between like the cutter being the module size for it or being about the same size as the module. Anyways, no. If they had the command module being able to go through in between the Fatterpillar and the Caterpillar.
And maybe whatever Drake miner we get, Drake salvager we get. Well, the Vulture.
Yeah. After he pointed out what I said about 10x, I agree Fatterpillar is possible as a capital class. If Fatterpillar is expandable also, then that makes sense. But those containers don't make sense. Hey, you don't talk bad about my containers. I love these containers. I agree with you. But I do think that if you were going to go through, because what's the easiest way to make this expandable? What's the easiest way? Introduce a 64 SCU cargo module that you can go through and be like, and attach into the same size.
I mean, there's no reason we won't get a 64.
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying is like, that's why I really dig this design, is because it's the easiest implementation to go through and expand out.
Oh, I understand. Yeah, absolutely. Just make longer boxes.
Yeah.
The longer the box, the better.
Let's see. Oh, man. Oh, wait, I lost some stuff again. It's girth over length, but it is an issue when you are shaped like a tuna can.
Dude, you
Chris
are so
Roberts is way too obsessed with drop ships. I know, and I don't really. I get it. I get it. There should be a greenhouse module, like what for the Caterpillar or the Fatterpillar. I could see it. I could see them making something like that for the Caterpillar, but I don't see that. It would have to be a third party. It'd have to be like Gray Cat going through and be like, hey, for the Caterpillar, we introduced this module to go through and.
Dude, why not though? Why not?
True, but I don't see Drake making a greenhouse module, because I think Drake could be like, nah, fuck that. Our ships get the job done. If you want clean air, go to Microtech. I just think Drake is like hardcore Hearthstonians. The Baby Kraken, love it. Polaris is ready, 2x 600i. So Nautilus 2 then. Hey, I gotta be honest. At this point in time, I don't see the gameplay for Nautilus. And that's not to say that it's not going to have great gameplay. But the reason why I think of a mine layer, I'm like, sweet, that works on a battlefield where you have tanks.
Well, org warplay. When org warfare becomes popular, which it will, the Nautilus will exist and thrive. When you are trying to own a planet, which people will try to do, you will mine layer the gravity zones of that planet.
Batterpillar variant of the Odyssey. I would work with that, yes. You're not wrong, Major Star stuff. Capital isn't a requirement of size necessarily, but any ship that has capital components.
Yeah.
But I think it's also like a minimum amount of components, because there is one ship that is actually large that does have capital components. We were looking at it the other day, and I can't remember which one it was. And I was like, oh, that's actually got a capital class said thing. Sorry, I gotta hop off. Major Star Stuff, I appreciate you being here, bud. I know that's probably late and you're
Yeah, I said goodnight to him on time for you.
okay. Thank you. I appreciate that. Enjoy the hopium and see you for Drake Day. Yep. Bandit Merchantman 2880 SC of cargo. Is it 2880?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's actually an upgrade because remember when they first were talking about the Bandit Merchantman, it was like not very.
No,
much.
it got big about 2 years ago, and it's been about the same size since.
Elf. Were you saying goodnight to somebody else? He was probably saying goodnight.
He was saying goodnight to Star Stuff. Mm-hmm.
Elf's lucky because he lives in Hawaii, and so he's like 3 hours, 4 hours behind us. Obese fat Vader breed. No, it says. What's that? It's the sound of the engine
If only you had
up.
made that joke 20 minutes ago when it was
on. Let's see. Do you think I should CCU Caterpillar to BMM? Toaster, I'm be perfectly honest. I'm not the biggest fan of the Banu Merchantman. It doesn't have appeal to me. I could be alone in this. I just, out of all the ships, and it seems like, I like big weird ships, but I don't find it attractive. And I couldn't see actually owning it, like for regular use. People that do own it and cool and stuff like that, I'll absolutely go on there and check it out and go through and sell stuff and bring cargo and everything like that to them, or go and deliver off refined ores so they can go through and do whatever they need to do with it. Awesome, yeah. I can't see myself owning it. If you really like the styling and everything like that of the Bandit Merchantman and the gameplay aspect, and that's what I always try to think of, like, what's the gameplay aspect for this? Like, how do we get the most fun out of playing this? And that's where I don't see it. Do you want it for commerce with space cows? All right, well then you sold me. Yes, absolutely. So to be clear, you guys think this is going to be in addition to the new cutter variant? Yes. JD Winslow, yes. I do think that this is going to be in addition to the cutter variant. And this is speculation. Like, there's been rumors, and it's been rumored and spoken about by a couple of the big content creators for the game that there are still rumors and talks of a Super Freighter getting announced by Drake. And these are people that I know have regular contact with people inside of CIG. And if they're going through and saying, like, hey, there's still some rumors, and saying it enough to where it's like almost implying the wink wink, then yeah, that's why I'm like, if nothing comes out of it today or tomorrow, or tomorrow or the next day, then hey, we still got something in the future to where something can still be announced. Because IAE is not the only time they announce ships. They announce ships all the fucking time throughout the year. Hey, we got a concept sale for, I remember it at that time, for this ship coming out. Check it out. And you're like, but it's just with the patches and updates. And we also have 2 other big fly events that are coming through. We have Alien Week, we have Drake Defense Con, and we have the what's the other one? That comes right before Drake Defense Con.
The new fly day, for the new recruits.
What's the actual name of it?
Invictus.
Invictus, thank you.
Jeez.
Invictus Launch Week or something like that?
Invictus Launch Week.
So it's IAE is not the only time that we can go through and get an announcement, and it might be something where it gets pushed off because, they're just not ready for it. I doubt that. I think right now they're trying to catch that momentum wave and go through and really get people interested in super cool new ships. Greenhouse module with guns? Greenhouse module would kill the shit out of everything. Drake does use 100% recycled steel in all their ships. See, they are very conscientious of stuff. Doubts Drake wants a fatty rolling cat. What? Reclaimer has a cap power plant. Oh, thank you. Reclaimer has a capital size power plant. That's why we were looking at it the other day, because that's when Huaha had the ship. Big S10 debt proximity mines. Hell, I want S2 mines for the rear auto turret for the Perseus. That'd be cool. And honestly, the ability to drop landmines behind you while you're getting chased by stuff does sound like a great plan. as a don't fuck with me kind of stuff. So Savannah Merchantman was cool when it looked like a Borg ship. I'll agree with that. That's whenever I actually thought it was cool. And then they did the big changeover. After the rework, the Bandu, and their style, it fell in interest for me as well. Okay, so I appreciate you, Michael, that you have that kind of same mentality. Because I do remember that it looked a lot different when I first introduced the concept for the Bandu Merchantman. So if the Fatty is 2x2 deck of cargo at 32 per grid, that would make each bay 128 SCU, so total 896 cargo. That's for this, and that's looking at it for this outer section. That's not considering what it could be for the inner section.
It would double it. It would at least double it, I think.
Yeah,
and be internal.
And that's what we're talking about. Is like getting it to where even if it was at around that
2000's fine
mark for hauling cargo, that's still a shit ton of cargo. Like go through right now and just in a Hull C at 4,000, what is it, 500 something or whatever cargo, SCU of cargo. Just think of how expensive it is to go through and haul something that costs money. And whenever going through into larger sizes of that, like it can absolutely get there. The difference is that with Drake, if it goes through and gets around to the 2,000 or 2,500 or 3,000 mark and doesn't quite get up to that Hull C direct competitor, the one thing that it can do to put a competitive edge to that is having more defense, having more armor, having more shielding, having more...
The Hull C is the best at cargo. That 5,000 units is the best at cargo, sacrificing all else. So Drake would have to land somewhere in the middle. It would have to be less cargo, but more something else. Defense.
Yeah.
Right.
And honestly, that kind of fits their forte of what they generally do, right? The Corsair, not the greatest exploration ship, but it's got a lot of fucking firepower. The Cutter, not the most really anything, but it can fly the shit out of everywhere because that little sipping tiny ass quantum drive goes through and really just like you can traipse around the entire system and be good to go. Like there's always something. There's always some sort of like, well, it's not as good as this, but it has this stuff, which is a fair offset because you're going to have people that balance that. Some people, it's good enough that it just looks like a Drake ship because, like me, they're absolute Drake fanboys for that base, nose to the grindstone industrial feel for it that you lose with a lot of other companies. Even some of the other companies that I really enjoy, Argo, are some other ones that I really enjoy that have the industrial feel and look to them, but it's more refined and modern. I think we were talking about this the other day. So like Argo, RSI with the Arastra and stuff like that. It's that future tech modern of the feel for it, of the design. But Drake literally looks like they took a fucking barge off the ocean, strapped some fucking engines to it, and were like, throw that shit out in space. And they did it. That's what the Caterpillar looks like to me. And I hope the Fatterpillar looks like an even bigger ship that they just chunked into space that can hold way more shit. And that is my rant about that situation. Let's see.
We're almost caught up. I'm impressed.
Yeah, well, and I'm kind of skipping through things. I see some things like Military Week. That's some answers to the stuff that we had earlier. So I'm actually following along better on there. Fleet Week, Invictus, gotcha. So we're kind of catching down to that spot. The Defender was the gateway to Alien. I like the old depictions of the Banner Merchantman, but the recent Alien Week CCU down $50. I built a massive CCU chain for it. I'll make it work somehow. I do have Banner Merchantman CCU, but only because it was $300 when I applied it. Nice. More weapons is what Drake does. I mean, but am I wrong?
No.
Look at the fucking Corsair. That's a beast to go through and try to attack somebody in Corsair. Yes, it turns like a fucking pregnant whale, but let it catch you in front of it with 6 size 4s.
Yeah, you do not want to stand in front of that. Nope. No, thank you.
And no, I did not forget Argo.
Well, and it's as the Corsair's role as an explorer. Another thing that I bet people are going to run it as is a embargo runner, right? Let's just break through a field, just point it the direction. I'm going that way. You move or die. That's about the Corsair.
And those are 6 gimbaled. They're size 5 gimbaled, so that's what makes them the size 4 weapons.
Well, that's going away.
Take those off.
Wait,
what?
Yeah, at CitizenCon they announced that that's going away. Size 3 will be size 3, gimbaled or not. Every ship in the game is about to get a weapons
Nice.
upgrade.
Okay, yeah, that's huge then, because that'll be 6 size 5 gimbaled weapons.
Correct.
And honestly, you kind of need the gimbling because, it pregnant whale.
The freaking Avenger Titan dude is going to have a size 4 nose cannon and 2 size 3 wing guns. For a starter ship? The Avenger Titan is going to have a size 4 nose gun and 2 size 3 wing guns on a starter ship.
Damn.
People are sleeping on it. Blockade runner. Yes. Thank you, Kevthar. The Corsair is a perfect blockade runner. I know the MSR is billed as the blockade runner, but that's because it's speed. The Corsair is the one that's actually going to be busting through blockade.
Yeah. And honestly, in 0G, the Corsair is quite a maneuverable ship. Like, for its size and its asymmetry and everything like that, and being able to go through and get everything set up and done. The one thing that I can say is the weak point for the Corsair is actually the turrets, the manned turrets. That's its weakest point, in my opinion, because of how the view, the field of view for it. That is Bailey in the background. Gimbals won't have to size down the weapons. Yeah. But the MSR get nerfed. Well, they're going to be doing a whole MSR rework. Oh, you're saying it got nerfed and so now it drifts a lot. Yeah, that is true. I wonder if there's going to be something to where we're going to have... Because I know they talked about misfires for FPS weapons, but I'm wondering if the ships, like with the maintenance and everything like that on ships, I'm wondering if that's going to be one of those things to where you're going to have... obviously, with the maintenance and stuff like that, I can't wait for the engineering gameplay to come through all together. But like, one thing we were talking about with the engineering gameplay is specifically in work loops, job loops, right? So for salvaging, because we were using me and Huaha and Josh the other night were using the reclaimer to salvage a couple ships. And the one thing that I'm actually most interested in is going through and taking some of these salvage heads and being able to tune them to where they go through and might have a faster speed. Like, so the trawler head on the reclaimer goes through and has 0.27 for the speed and 0.6, I think, for the efficiency. Well, okay, what if you can go through and increase the efficiency or the speed? Or what if you can't go through and adjust those? What if you can go through and make a thing and say instead of 6 meters for the diameter of it, it's a 9 meter diameter that you can max it out at. It's still got the same speed, but with a larger diameter, you can go through and get a larger surface area to go through and get things taken care of. Like, fine-tuning those things on not only the salvaging ships, but the mining heads or your refiners and stuff like that, and things like the Expanse. Like, that type of gameplay is awesome. Now, the one thing that you would lose a bit of that on is on ships like the Fatterpillar or the Super Freighter, whatever you want to call it, or the Caterpillar, because you can't go there and adjust really through the maintenance and engineering. You can't adjust additional cargo space, but you would be able to go through and adjust stronger maneuvering thrusters or engines to be able to go through to get faster, 0 to 60, quote unquote, in atmosphere and stuff like that off of a cargo ship. So like, that engineering gameplay is going to be another big game changer. There's so many big game changers that are going to be coming to the game that's going to go through and really expand out a lot of gameplay and a lot of customization of your ships and your vehicles and the game loops that those entail, right? Salvaging, mining, refining, all of your ships. So like cargo running and that functionality for it is going to be a big spot that they're going to be able to go through and get changed in there. Drake ships will keep my Crucible in the black. It will. I have a Crucible as well in my garage, in my hangar, and I cannot wait because I think that's going to be another fun game loop between the repairs for the ships. I do think that there's going to be a size increase for the Crucible. I picked up the Crucible on announcement for it, backed it off of the initial ship sale for it. And I think that that's going to be one of those ships that is probably going to go through and have to increase in size, and will probably end up going up in price as well. So for my combat fighter pilots in chat, should I get an Ares Ion for bounties? I'm planning to do so, or is salvaging that much more lucrative compared to bounty hunting? I already has a vulture. So I'm going to give you this bit of information, Ken. Right now, the salvaging that we do for the illicit salvage, we don't even salvage. We go out there with a ship that has, like Panda typically brings out his MSR, and we go out there and all we do is we pay the 10,000 or 30,000 credits for the contract. We go out there to them, we scan them to see what they have in their cargo bay, and then we go through and pilfer off the stuff that's in the cargo bay, grab the next contract, go out there. And we don't grab everything. We grab the stuff like neon. We grab the stuff like, see, what is the stuff we've mainly seen? Neon, the ultratoxin. We haven't seen any like big illicits like slam or anything like that in the ones that we've run, but they also have things like maize or the weevil eggs. And you go through and you stack those up and you bring them down to a TDD, or not a TDD, I'm sorry. You bring them down to like Brio's Breaker Yard or the Devlin and whatever, or the Samson and Sons, or to Crew L5 or Crew L4, and you go to those terminals where you can go through and sell the illicits on there, and we turn that in. We actually don't even end up salvaging. The only thing we actually did for salvaging was the legal salvage missions so that we could build up our levels and get higher open tiers of the illicit cargo to run. It did get nerfed a bit because they started going through and breaking stuff out, but you can still get some really good ones. So it's not completely nerfed. We went through and made, typically on our runs when we go out and do it, that's with the 3.21.1 patch and all the newest patch and everything like that. We've still been able to go through and get a few 100,000, 300 to 500,000 in an evening going through and doing that. So we can still make some decent money off of there. Will that form of salvage be nerfed anytime soon? I think that it will. And I'm really interested to see what they're going to be doing. So 3.22 is going to introduce salvaging 2.0. And I'm really thinking that's going to go through and entering some stuff. Salvage equals scraping, looting, de-equipping, and munching. Not all are in game yet. Right, so right now we can do the scraping, looting, and de-equipping. The munching will come in 3.22, so in about 4 weeks, we'll get 3.22 in, and that'll have the munching in there, which they call it. And I actually know why. The reason why they switched it from munching, which everybody was calling it, to grinding, ship grinding, is because whenever they introduce the Arastra and introduce asteroid munching, they didn't want people to shorten that to ass munching. I'm saying that is the reason why. Their marketing team was like, we can't have people calling this ass munching. Because they knew that the nerdy gentleman was going to be like, nope. Ass munching. That is the term. Short for asteroid munching. Biggest sells is going to be RSI and Consolidated Outlands. Maybe some ISK. Extor, I'm saying biggest sells are going to be RSI for the Arastra. Absolutely. Consolidated Outlands. Yes, because they're going to be introducing a new ship. And Drake Fatterpillar. I just saw the time. It is 10 o'clock.
It's 10 o'clock.
Yeah. I have been super enjoying this conversation. We will have to do this another time. I'll try to go through and get a schedule. You guys put some comments up on some videos and everything like that. Give me ideas whenever you guys would like to go through. Because I know that most of us are, have family, work, everything else, because most of us in the Star Citizen community are a bit more mature in our age, is how we'll put it. But leave me some comments. Let me know whenever is a good time to go through and get these things going on. A lot of the viewers, I really appreciate. I had a lot of fun with this conversation, and hope you guys did too. Panda, Waha, have you guys enjoyed this conversation with all of these lovely folks?
I've enjoyed it.
I was like, I'm going to take that as a yes. I like how Panda just disappears.
No. I'm here. I'm here now.
Sleeping on Argo. SRV will be a Nova hot drop ship. I'm not sleeping on Argo. I think the SRV is going to be huge. I'm saying that we already knew the SRV was hit this patch and is going to be a big spot that's going to go through and pull people. I'm saying that the ones that we don't know about are that are not confirmed that we don't know about are going to be the biggest ones that people are going to be like, oh, hell yes. And I'm saying, and I'm agreeing with Panda that the consolidated outlines is going to be a direct flyable. Bam.
Yeah, it was
Direct
leaked.
flyable.
We know it was leaked.
Direct
Everything
flyable.
else we've seen. We've seen the Sulin ship. We've seen everything else in that video. The last thing we're missing is that guy was sitting in the cockpit and then the orange trapezoidal.
Yep.
Those are the last images we've gotten everything else. So it's ready.
So yeah. I'm going to have to wrap it up though, guys. I do appreciate every single one of you. Thank you guys so much. Drop a like on the stream and everything like that. This will be, if you did miss it, this will go through. I don't even know how long we've been streaming for.
Gosh, 2 hours?
A good hot minute. Yeah, 2 hours and 22 minutes, looks like. So this will go live. You'll definitely have to catch some of the first parts because we did talk a lot about different things, and we went through and looked up at a bunch of the different Drake Caterpillar mods that people, like modifications and things, fan creations that people have made. I like this one right here going on. I love this one, the carrier module. So go back and check through the videos and everything like that. I appreciate every single one of you being here. Panda, Waha, any last words for the night?
Have a good night, everybody.
Yeah, have a good night.
Awesome, awesome. Until next time, this is the Nerdy Gentleman reminding you to game happy. I love you all. Thank you guys so much for being here and making this such a successful and cool stream. Look forward to the next one, and I'll try to go through and put an announcement out on the channel, and I will see you all later. Bye, guys.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Waha, I am working my way out of
Gentlemen.
this ship. It is somewhat successful. Don't go too far.